After 3 weeks of play, it's come down to this, the final stretch of games for the Hearthstone Grandmasters America Swiss portion of Stage 1. After this final best of 3, we are going to reveal the top 8 and the bottom 8 and go into Division A and B, heading into the playoffs and ultimately who's going to get that final spot for the Global Finals representing the Americas and who will be relegated, no longer joining us in the Grandmasters program, only to have to come back through Masters Tours. Welcome to the Grand Finals. It's Killing All Day, representing the Tempo Mage and Endemic, as well as his opponent Eddie, who is just so dominant. And what a way it would be for Killing All Day to take down Eddie, America's top performer from Stage 1 so far, as he is going to be playing his Tempo Mage. And we'll see if some of these spicy techs will come into play here. But I do imagine that this is one of the better decks in the field against the shenanigans that is known as Turtle Mage.
Yeah, it is one of the decks that can generate a lot of damage from hand. It is one of the decks that can put on like a ton of like a real burst of early game pressure and things that you can't really account for, which is kind of what this deck from Eddie wants to rely on, is things that it can account for and damage that it can account for, because you need to know when to play things safely. So this Tempo Mage kind of has an X factor of a bunch of randomly generated stuff that makes the gameplay from the Turtle Mage kind of hectic at times, and you do have to make some guesses and take some risks at different points in the game to try and dodge over-the-top damage. Now, Killen's primary list, maybe not the best, but when the Archmage Tinnitus in games 2 and 3 from the secondary list from Killing All Day come into effect, that's when Eddie's got to be sweating a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's going to be where it starts to become harder to win. So this first game is even more crucial for Killing All Day, just to get as many chances as he can to defeat Eddie's Mage. As we go into game number 1, opening hands here look pretty solid, honestly, for Eddie, as he does have like an early curve to follow, and Prison Observer does tend to be very annoying for Kill All Day if he wants to extend onto the board, because it will sweep up a lot of the 2-health minions like the Sorcerer's Apprentice or any kind of Mana Cyclone development or Solarian Prime, etc.
A couple things to note about this series. Killing All Day and Eddie played twice throughout the Swiss, and they both won once. Overall game score of 3-2 in favor of Killen. It's hard to do with specialists. Killen beat him 2-0 in the one that he won, but he lost 2-1 in the one that he lost. Killen also played once against Language Hacker in the Swiss and won that match as well. So Killen's Mage is proven to be pretty successful against Turtle Mage, having a 2-1 score overall in the Swiss against it, 1-1 against Eddie. So still a close one, but the Tempo Mage can sometimes, like I said, be a little bit difficult to deal with. Eddie, though, decent tempo start, but the Potion of Illusion worries me a little bit.
You don't pick the ones.
Gets me sweating. Ooh.
Oh, wow. Brain Freeze.
Ooh.
Doesn't actually kill it, though, without the spell damage right now. Otherwise, it'd be a very clean kill. I guess Eddie could end up playing the Wand Thief and the Brain Freeze just to maximize his mana efficiency, but he's developing 4 power, or 4 health on the board, rather. And then Killen could just simply activate its spell burst and get full value. So he's just going to chill. But then Killen, does he want to capitalize off of this spell burst at all? Looks like he will. I wonder how secrets can play a role in disrupting Eddie at all. Like, if you play Netherwind Portal, I mean, does that mess with Eddie at all?
He's got coin, but coin has a lot of value. I mean, the chance of Archmage and Tinnitus, I feel, is too high. So Font of Power makes a lot of sense. Oh,
all right.
Okay.
Those are some
growing. That's minions. A lot of power.
Yeah. Well, Neverset Threshers survives the Imprisoned Observer Awaken. And that's going to mean that Eddie's going to set up for this Wand Thief first.
Oh, Vaporize.
Yeah.
Flame Strike also activates the Sunreaver War Mage. You can go for that. That clears off the Neverset. Put something on board. Oh,
Right, and that's really annoying considering that the Overseer had buffed the Neverset Thresher, and if he does end up trading, it's going to be picked off really easily anyways.
He dumps the potion. There's a lot of value in getting the Imprisoned Observer out again, because that means you don't have to worry about Sorcerer's Apprentice being left up on the board. The timing of it is a little weird. I want the Imprisoned Observer to pop out going into my turn 8, so I maybe have a safer Totolan Pilgrim.
Right.
But I mean, I guess getting it down now is fine. But I probably would have gone for Wand Thief instead.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Well, these these minions don't really matter too much. They're just kind of stats now. And Killen just going to start pressuring, and I like this play. I like that instead of trying to get caught up and trading into the board, focus on what's important, which is killing your opponent. This is annoying for Eddie because he has Flame Strike, but it's not ready to go yet.
Yep. He does have a good amount of stall tools. Cartoon Defender actually does a good amount here. It's just, what if Killen has a way to easily get through this Cartoon? I think that's the kind of the big question. And then you take 16 damage. I don't think you can afford to do that. The awkward part about the Sunreaver War Mage is he actually didn't get information on whether or not that was the Mirage, I don't think.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't really matter.
You still don't get that information, right? Because because you have to kill it, and so killing all day. Also, I mean, it wasn't really a big priority to stick these Jandos minions, anyways. Picks up Raz.
What to do?
Interesting opportunity. I kind of thought he wanted to go for a Conjurer's Calling right now, considering that he has 5 drops onto the field, and it can make it hard to deal with. So there's that. How much damage can he also push if he's just choosing to be aggressive? Let's say he trades to make space a little bit and then use Conjurer's Calling and Mirror Image. Is that a way for him to push damage and try to position himself to maybe get fortunate to generate cards to burn and finish the game here?
Time runs out on me.
Yeah, that's tough because Mana Giant with Conjurer's Calling is a way to win the game. A desperation way to win the game because you can always get Grob.
I guess we'll never know which minion was picked by Jandos to die.
But a middle ground here I think makes a lot of sense because now Eddie only has 1 attacking minion. If he didn't trade this in, that would have been... we do have confirmation that's the Mirage because I don't think Killen would trades that if it's not going to die to the 2 damage AoE. But now this, I guess, aggressive push from Killen has been thwarted, and Eddie should be able to clear things up here in preparation for... Well, it's not the easiest clear, because Firebrand plus Cone of Cold still leaves 5 health on board. You could always go like Firebrand, Cone of Cold, or Firebrand trade Cone of Cold, and then he'd keep his Imprisoned Observer alive, and be a little bit of overkill on the Neverset Thrasher, but
yeah,
could be fine.
Maybe the Cartoot Defender, but I think he wants the Cartoot Defender to kind of survive and be copied by Totolan Pilgrim.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just Flame Strike here.
Yeah, I think he might be worried about devolving missiles for the Cartoot Defender, because then he takes
yeah. That makes sense. Oh, Imprisoned Observer. Okay.
Yeah.
Just really making the life difficult. The Imprisoned Observer also kind of makes us at Killen after next turn still has like awkward Sorcerer's Apprentice development opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Killen picks up Arcane Intellect if he wants to kind of wash for some other draws. Font of Power picks up Trick Totem.
Oh, Dune Sculptor.
Okay, Dune Sculptor is pretty interesting. Casting a spell and getting a random mage minion. There's some really high impact minions you can get. Wand Thief, all the way up to Archmage Antonidas. There's also a lot of junk, though, to be quite candid about some of the state of mage minions versus the mage
like
spells.
Trick Totem.
Sure.
I think like
Okay.
my thinking is water elemental is the average, so either pick the average, or pick something that get much above average. Ooh, the Mana Giant setup there for Killen is actually really smart because that's the turn that Eddie wants to Tortol in. Well, he did not account for the Flame Strike, obviously, because it was randomly generated. So that is actually a breath of fresh air for Eddie because Killen was hoping to. That was going to be Potion Evolution turn. That's not good.
Naga Sandwich. He doesn't want to make his hand more expensive. Maybe the Steward of Scrolls?
Yeah.
Find a 1-mana
Puzzle box!
Wait, the Naga Sandwich Puzzle Box Dream!
Oh! Wait. Okay, yeah, I guess.
I mean, it's not... You wouldn't really do that in most cases. It's just back when Highlander Mage used to want to play that kind of dynamic, like Naga Sandwich, and this was like old school stuff too. Like, there's a lot of different ways you could have used that Naga Sandwich with expensive spells. But, you know, we're playing the inverse of that now. We're playing a small spell mage deck. You don't really want to play Naga Sandwich at all, unless you're desperate. Okay, so is this time for Eddie to unleash the Tortilla Pilgrims?
I think the question is, like, does he want to...
Oh, wow.
So he's trying to minimize the amount of damage he's taking. Wait, hold on.
He could have done the same thing, but copied. He just didn't want the imprisoned observers.
He doesn't want the imprisoned observers. I guess. Tree Reinforcements!
And then mind control it! Okay.
Oh! Sprint!
Whoa! What is happening?
Does that have rush?
Yeah. Shadow
Oh no, it's got Shadow Step. It got Shadow Step. All right.
Chinval.
Soul Mirror.
Wait, now you can't play the Mad Bot. Well, I guess you can.
Unleash the Beast.
Amazing.
He doesn't have space for the twin spell.
Oh no. Oh no, that puzzle box is so bad because he can't get full value from the Unleash the Beast.
What is that bomber doing?
Now, Dan, now that's a puzzle box.
Now that's admirable.
Oh, it's been a while. And many years.
7 years.
As insane as a puzzle box that was, Killen's still got to find some damage.
Yeah, he didn't. I mean, he got 3 damage from that exchange.
Yeah, and he doesn't have Braz anymore. There you go. There's some damage. He's looking for burn.
Eddie is leaving. He said, I'm out.
Yeah. Does he have any more generated spells in hand? I don't think so. Everything is just from his hand. He could play Solarian. The Solarian first.
Wait, ping the... Oh, yeah. This is fine.
Those are bad.
Not ideal, but I think the board state would still stay relatively the same, even if they were 12-12s.
Yeah.
Ooh, Power of Creation.
Yeah.
Charger damage.
Just looking for potential damage. That's it. And fitting in pings every turn, that's also important. Eddie's going to have to start weaving in Cartoon Defenders here. Not the most difficult thing for him, though. Oh. That's second Blizzard.
Right, which means he's got a Frost Nova this.
Now he's on a clock, yeah. It's only Potion of Illusion left in his deck.
Yeah. That's really annoying, actually.
Oh no, wait,
it is
no.
a
The first Blizzard was
Which generated?
was it? Is he Blizzard the
You're in my hands now.
Okay, well either way, he's good. He's still good, and now the healing chain begins, and
Oh, no,
Eddie.
Runs out.
Cone of Colded?
Yeah, he's gonna clear off the board here.
Yeah.
Killin, is there anything that he can do to try to stop this? I guess if Devolving Missiles could hit the Cartoon Defender, he's very fortunate.
Yeah.
Actually, that would be pretty devastating.
He could also freeze them.
Sure. Doesn't stop Eddie from being able to ping for life, though. Here we go. I guess he could ping first to increase his chances that Devolving Missiles hits. What? Oh. Almost insane.
Wait, Mazaki.
Ah, yeah. He finds Mazaki, Master Duelist. After you cast a spell, gain +1 spell damage. And then Eddie's just going to have crazy amount of spell damage if it stays onto the board. Ooh, Evocation. Okay. There is a chance, TJ. That's all it is.
Runs out on me.
A chance.
No burn. Burn!
I will
Frostbolt is burn.
treasure.
Second Cartouche Defender. So the Tortolan Pilgrim right here can cast Blizzard.
What
So
to
you have
do?
hand space for any kind of meaningful potion.
You're in my hands now.
Yeah.
And I kind of wonder if Eddie just wants to play the tempo game here. Just trade. Ooh, I like pinging his own Cartouche Defender as well, kind of what we're talking about. Setting up defenses and pushing damage.
Yeah, Kill needs some big help. Because he's also dying. Not very fast,
Yes.
but it's going to start to increase. Time to go. I mean, Evocation could find him lethal here.
Right. Just kind of like making sure that this is the right time for him to go, but the cramp session, if he finds another Sorcerer's Apprentice, maybe?
Frost Nova
Okay,
is
Frost
great.
Nova? Yeah, that helps. Helps a lot.
Dump, and he's looking for burn / disruption. Counterspell is useless, actually.
Yeah.
It's not fantastic. But maybe you just play Counterspell Netherwind Portal just to make use out of this. Actually, no, he's going to look for Slayer and Prime, I guess.
Right. Finds Mana Cyclone and Solarian Prime. I mean, he's pretty close to the bottom of the deck here.
Runs out on me.
Brain Freeze. I guess it doesn't truly matter who he Brain Freezes, but this is still a position where Eddie pretty much just tries to clear the board and pings his own minion, plays another Cartoon Defender. Back over to Killin. Is it Solarian Prime time?
Woohoo!
It's prime time, baby.
I have become
Yeah. It is.
Needs a big one here.
Flame
Strike.
Fireball!
Oh.
Puzzle box!
No, that's the 4th time that's happened to him this weekend.
Oh No, wait! Sacrificial pact! Well, that deadly
He has a
poison works.
weapon! Another fireball! That's not even the mage one!
Okay, I think we're back onto
One. Useless.
Okay,
Okay, now we're back to
on
mage
these.
spells.
Yeah, now we're back to this. Oh, shenanigans.
I will crush your delusions of grandeur. It says explode.
Oh, jeez.
Wild.
I don't know.
But I mean, Eddie gained a bunch of life because his cartoon defenders kept dying.
Yeah.
Eddie would have actually gotten acidic swamp value at one point. Jeez. And thus the cycle continues. Eddie stocks up. Waits for his Sun Reaver War Mage, Potion of Illusion. No ability to win. No real ability to lose.
That should be the slogan for Turtle Mage.
Can't win, can't lose.
Can't win, can't lose.
I wonder.
I guess there's like no reason for him to hold on to cards like Mana Saber, so like him developing it and then using this Tortolan Pilgrim to copy and then allows him to freeze makes sense, so he can dump a little bit more, get an extra copy of the Cartoon Defender. Played Cartoon Defender, Tortolan Pilgrim, and then Cartoon Defender.
Yeah.
It looks like he's gonna go for Blizzard here, and then probably put that last Cartoon Defender out. Yeah, just wants to keep hand space manageable. I think that's correct.
I mean, I feel like this game's going to come down to if killinallday can 30 Eddie with a Solarian Prime.
Yeah, because he's fatiguing.
Yeah, he's got nothing left. I mean, Eddie even like plays around rolling Fireball by putting a Escape Mana Saber like in an awkward position.
Yeah, this is not looking good. Okay. At this point, like, Solarian Prime and Puzzle Box and these kinds of things are also liabilities. They draw cards for killing. Seems there. Because if Eddie draws, let's say he draws poorly and he can't really combo with Tortolan Pilgrim anymore, does Killing even have time to kill him, right?
What to do?
I don't think he does.
Right. Like, I don't even know if Eddie disables his combos, he just has to play normal Hearthstone at that point.
You're in my hands.
Does he even have damage to finish the game? And it doesn't look like it. Not to mention that I think we're just at the point of no return. There's just too much value at this stage.
I mean, use this opportunity to start weaving in minions you can dump
Time runs out on me.
at the Acidic Swamp Ooze. So, I mean, Killen actually pushed 5 damage with a weapon this game. So, I might hold on to that one just in case.
I'm almost out of cards.
Jeez. All right. Well, Eddie pushing damage and maybe ends up putting Killen in a situation where it's do or die. Solarian Prime, one last time.
This casts a
Like,
puzzle
Jaina's
box.
active.
I
Oh
quit.
no! That's a bad start.
Oh
Wait,
my god.
what? I don't get
That's
it!
5 times in a row. He's done
I
that.
don't get it!
That's
Inner
5 times.
demon.
He has the 30 in. Wait a second.
TJ,
Wait
is
a
that your mana
second.
now?
22 damage to go.
Nope. Not getting there. Nope. Ah!
3, 4,
gotta
5.
stop.
He can't draw
Oh,
a single more
jeez.
card. If he draws one more card, he loses.
He's dead next turn. He has to kill right here, right now.
Well, I think that was always the case. And we're back to mage spells.
Yikes. Oh. And just like that, Killing All Day's
You win.
performance has concluded. Game number 1 over to Eddie. Even the combo fast tempo mage not fast enough to stop Eddie's rampage and total domination of Americas, as he is 1 game away from going back to back. I don't know how he
5
gets puzzle
times.
box every time. Yeah.
It's a small percentage chance to get puzzle box from Slayer Prime. You get 5 spells, and it's less than 10% for sure. And he's gotten it 5 times, I think. 5 times just on broadcast. That's not even including how many times he's gotten it in the Swiss stages.
That's right.
Maybe 0, I don't know, but it feels like so many. That's
I don't
crazy.
get it.
And they were
makes-
decent, right? They were all decent. Not
That's right.
not 30 damage to your opponent's face good, but like they were all like clear your opponent's board, deal some damage, draw some cards. That's everything you could hope for.
That's right.
So he was 16 damage off there at the end.
Right. It's clear the board, summon stuff, deal like half your opponent's life.
Yeah,
Kind of
was
amazing. I don't know
crazy.
what else you can really ask for in a reasonable manner, but that does bring us to game number 2. We talked about how game number 1 was pretty crucial to the success of Killing All Day win the series. This is looking like Eddie's series at this point. Yes, he's up to a 1-0 lead, but it might get even harder when we start factoring in the fact that Eddie can switch to a different deck. And with that, we know that Killen is also going to his secondary deck to try and see if he can beat Eddie. Secondary deck featuring the Archmage Antonidas, I believe.
Actually, yeah, Archmage Antonidas, Boom Pistol Bully. Those are the only inclusions, and he cuts mirror images, which are honestly pretty useless in the matchup. Not useless, but not as useful as Boom Pistol Bully and Archmage Antonidas. I'm waiting to see what Eddie's going to queue because there's actually quite a few options, and I'm trying to look at their previous match, but it doesn't say. What?
Yeah, I was looking it up too, but the secondary
show.
deck still relies upon getting that extra damage, and Archmage Antonidas seems to be pretty key for finding those last bits of damage from Killen. And Killen's still, as much as it seemed like he didn't really have a chance for a big portion of that game, it seemed like he was playing still pretty tight into his outs. I kind of appreciate the way he's been navigating it. And overall, it's just nice to see like a player that's been able to kind of play such an unwieldy deck with some real sharp corners. It seems like for the most part, Killen is being very technical about his approach with Mage, just making sure to always keep up the gas and like understanding his position during the game state, and also getting lucky where it counts, but really capitalizing on it when he can, because that's what the deck does. The deck tries to create opportunities many times, and you have to just be ready for it while accounting for all kinds of possibilities. And I mean, Killen was also on a rampage, right? He got number 1 on ladder, and you could see that he really was trying to put in the hours, and it seems like his hard work to kind of play catch up, because I talked to him before the season started. I sat down and chatted just a little bit, and he was saying that he wasn't sure if he at the moment was at the top of his gameplay, at top of the Grandmasters ranking. And so when I kind of released that little tongue-in-cheek fun rankings at the beginning of the season, he was like, yeah, I think it's really fair. I don't think I'm there yet, but he told me I'm gonna climb up, and I'm gonna get back in the swing of things. And that was a really cool moment to hear from Killen All Day, where he was gonna get back to the top, and looks like he's kind of there. He's step 1 on the way there, going to Division A, guaranteed for making top 2.
It says
Yeah.
explode.
And it took him a couple weeks, but I mean that's what it takes. Doesn't matter how you get to Division A; just matters that you're there.
Agreed. So with that, let's go into game number 2. Eddie starts off with that Doomsayer to stall Killen All Day's development. And Killen can just kind of use this opportunity to acquire resources. He could magic
What
trick.
to do?
He could wand
What
thief.
to do?
And also just kind of ping and save it because these are spells that combo with Mana Cyclone and Firebrand and one of these. So instead of trying to get a little bit, too wasteful, try to use it in combination of things.
I think the big question there was, could he magic trick into cramp session to make use out of the lab partner before it died on the board? Like, how valuable would it have been to take the risk to hit cramp session, but give up the magic trick for Mana Cyclone? So.
Okay.
Primordial Studies was the choice I was leaning towards, but Rolling Fireball could be useful for not falling behind on tempo. Yeah, and he does go with Rolling Fireball. Yeah, because Eddie, a lot of the ways he wins is by just sticking minions on the board. I mean, you saw last game, Killen had to keep respecting the board and then finally be able to push through. It's surprising how much this Turtle Mage deck wins by just playing minions and tempoing the opponent out of the game, because it does play efficient minions. It plays Firebrand, plays Jandis, plays Imprisoned Observer, which may not seem like tempo. It's delayed tempo because you force your opponent to play awkwardly, you get that 2 damage AoE, and that's a 4/5 up. So things like that can make it difficult, and while Primordial Studies could find him in Astromancer Solarian and help him get a Solarian Prime towards the end of the day.
I wonder.
His deck's called Tempo Mage for a reason, and because that's the main way it wins is by overwhelming your opponent.
Yeah, very much so. So Eddie, how does he stop that?
I will crush your delusions of grandeur.
The Fire Blast, I guess, sets up so that way he can contest it later on. Not super important at the moment. Killen finds the Archmage Antonidas with some cheap spells. Maybe now he's incentivized to not actually even play these cheap spells. Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Also, no reason to play Jandis because it plays right into the Imprisoned Observer. You can
Right,
tell how
good point.
important the Imprisoned Observers were last game for Eddie, that he kept wanting to... He kept playing one each turn if he could. He even potioned like on 6 to be able to play a 1-mana 1, and kept prioritizing playing and protecting his Imprisoned Observers because he knows that if Killen sticks a Sorcerer's Apprentice on a turn that Eddie had planned out to be, say, a Tortolan Pilgrim turn, he has to deviate, and it can snowball from there. So he needs to keep control of the board consistently so that he never finds himself in the situation where he planned a Tortolan turn and had to do something else because there was a Sorcerer's Apprentice on the other side of the board that was too threatening. So,
What makes something real?
alright, now it's Jandis time. Oh,
Mozaki.
Rat Spite. Oh, both of these are sick. Obviously, Mozaki is probably sicker. But
Right.
Rat Spite Brood is super annoying.
Right. I think that card is borderline playable since it came out with Ashes of Outland and the Demon Hunter kind of prologue.
What makes something
I think it's just so good at
Wait.
dismantling aggro.
He has Rolling Fireball Cram Session.
That's right. Mozaki gains the spell damage.
Oh,
And
wait,
then he
he
can
could
set
just
up for the Archmage.
he could draw a million cards.
Well, I don't think he wants to draw a million cards.
What to do?
I mean, he wants to draw as many as he can while not overdrawing.
Right. How about like 3? Does that sound good?
3 is good. That would just be Rolling Fireball. But what about like Magic Trick? Ray of Frost. Something else for Magic Trick.
I feel like you want to hold on to these spells for Archmage.
That's true.
But you might be right. You could be right in the sense that like the faster he hits Sorcerer's Apprentice, the faster he will be able to get these like meaningful amount of damage and whatnot. So
Yeah.
it could be exactly how you described.
Yeah.
Intrigued by the idea that Eddie, I guess he doesn't want to pick a Wasted Surgery because he's going to rush in. He can trade into the Jandis. Okay, so he's going to trade into the Mozaki, keep the other minion healthy, and then now Killen has to react, but yes,
Oh.
this Mozaki can do some crazy amount of spell damage. This
Yeah.
turn.
I think the rolling fireball plus cram session is probably better. He's got
I
+1
wonder
spell damage right now. So after the rolling fireball, it'd be +2 spell damage. So cram session would be 3 cards. Which I mean, this also keeps the Mozaki alive. It protects it. Eddie still can't kill it,
I mean, this is
so it's
kinda
gonna stay alive
reminding me-
again. This is insane.
TJ, this is reminding me of the Freeze Mage combo deck that we saw Fino and Hunter Ace at the very beginning of this expansion tried to do with Arcane Missiles and Mozaki and doing some pretty ridiculous stuff to OTK their opponent.
You play Archmage Antonitis now and like Ray of Frost? How much damage is that? Next turn you Ray of Frost again. So that way there'd be 2 additional spells.
Yeah.
Mozaki would be at +5 spell damage. That's lethal. It's a lethal setup.
Yeah, this is a lethal setup. I like
And
it.
he has to kill Mozaki or it's lethal. And he has to kill Archmage Antonitis. Yeah, concede.
Wow.
Boom.
Instant concede from Eddie. And Killing All Day gets a real quick Game 2 victory. We're tied at 1 game apiece. The winner of the next one will take it all. But you can see the secondary deck tech really come into play here. That's what you want to see at a deck building, and that's what you want to see if you're a fan of Killing All Day right now.
Yeah, little help from the Mozaki. I mean, that's something that Eddie can never account for. But honestly, with that many like cheap spells in hand and Archmage Antonitis with the hand that Eddie had, he was never killing that Archmage. That comes down on 7 in that situation. He's never killing it. And then all Killen has to do is keep Ray of Frosting and keep throwing fireballs at the face. And, eventually he gets there. So that was a tough one. The Mozaki just made it that much more spectacular of a win. And a 2-turn lethal setup because each fireball was dealing 11. And he was at 22. So kind of insane. But yeah, it comes down to this. And this not only is settling this best of 3, but also is settling a best of 3 in match score between the two of them since they both took one win against each other in Swiss. It's settling that, it's settling this, and it's settling the entire finals for the weekend. And I think I did see Tyler tweet that his credit card's ready. Buy the packs necessary to craft a fully golden Turtle Mage.
That's right. Tyler with some money bag emojis, ready to dish it out. But Killen bringing it back. We'll see. Maybe Mozaki just is the tech card that Killen wants. I mean, we didn't really think about it, but it makes sense. Turtle Mage gives you the time. Killen drawn the Archmage early. Finds
missiles.
So 2 different kinds of game plans. One, just like Arcane Missiles to keep cheap combos and maybe even a little bit of damage. Frost Nova can help stall the tempo that Eddie would want to develop. But it's not exactly high impact right now. So Killen foresees that later in the game he's going to need something like Frost Nova to potentially combo with things like Ray of Frost or just to stall out for long enough. But either way, he is behind on board.
The ultimate combo of Archmage Antonitis Frost Nova. That has killed many players in Hearthstone's history.
Yeah. That's true. Archmage Antonitis Frost Nova, that's an old Freeze Mage combo back in the day.
Yeah, and if Eddie makes a board big enough, like Archmage Antonitis plus Frost Nova could mean that Eddie cannot kill the Archmage Antonitis. So that is something to think about. If Killing All Day can not keep up in tempo enough to not die or let Eddie get too far ahead, and then Archmage Antonitis Frost Nova and hold on to double Sorcerer's Apprentice, that could just be a 2-turn lethal setup.
Right.
And he's playing it slow. I mean, he kept Boom Pistol Bully. He knows that there some of this early game stuff won't matter if he just sets up for a guaranteed 2-turn kill.
Yeah, I was so tunneled in on Killen's hand that we didn't actually pay attention to Eddie's hand. Look!
Oh, double potion! He drew double potion!
I mean, we haven't really seen the deck have that failure rate yet. And
it's been
now
so long.
Eddie Eddie has to improvise a win condition here.
Yeah. Now, Killen doesn't know this. All right, so he's going to go for tempo here. He's going to go Boom Pistol Bully into
that Boom Pistol Bully is
Jandis.
so annoying.
Oh, potion!
Yep. I guess
Killen rolls his eyes. He's like, I've been trying to set this up for so long.
Wait, what's happening? Eddie is playing tempo mage. Killen's playing like a defensive freeze combo mage. What?
I know.
This is completely reversed.
I feel like Killen comes out on top of this one in most scenarios, though.
Yeah. But most is the key
Ooh.
word.
Those aren't Mizaki level good.
A little worse than Mizaki, I'd say.
Yeah. But, I mean, Eddie might just feel comfortable parting ways with a Frost Nova here because the Imprisoned Observer emerging next turn is going to clean up most of this stuff. And it also allows them to push 6 damage. So, that Frost Nova choice from Killing All Day is actually looking more and more like a fantastic pick. Yeah. Very smart, kind of foreseeing how this game was going to progress. And the Mirror Image, because Potion Evolution puts them back as 1/1s, Mirror Image can attack. They are battle images now.
That's right. They're mirrors that have jagged edges. They've been smashed. Actually, do you think mirror images would be better or worse if they were 1/1s? Probably
worse.
Probably worse, because mages, when they usually want to play mirror image, want it for the taunts and the health, not necessarily for the pressure like Paladin.
There's a card that is that, and it's Air Raid.
Right.
But it's 2 mana, but you get it as a twin spell, which, is, pretty average for the twin spell, I guess. I don't know. Ross. It's pretty sick.
It's a solid card. Paladin, but Paladin's the one that wants to capitalize off it, not mage.
Yeah. So Imprisoned Observer will emerge next turn, killing off much of Killing All Day's board. Killing just looking for a way to clear off a lot of this. Flame Ward.
That is a way.
Yeah, that stalls a lot of the pressure, actually.
Right. Well, it also clears up board space for Eddie, which is not exactly what he's thinking about.
Time runs out on me.
Because he's not aware of the second potion. And Eddie can see pretty worried about that secret. And Killen just playing defensive stall tactics. This is so interesting the way it's kind of flipped here.
Yeah.
And so he can trade preemptively to kind of test for it. He also doesn't have to play doesn't have to trigger the Flame Ward yet. Can totally just take his time.
Yeah, but at the same time, you want to get it out of the way because you're winning on tempo because of the double potion hand. Okay, those are decent. Actually protects his Imprisoned Observer from being killed by the recurring villain because they're both taunts. This game's getting weird. And Killen still doesn't know that double potion is in hand, or that the second potion is in hand. So he's gonna still try and hold on to like key resources in order to have a win condition through all the potion nonsense. But step one even of that plan is to wrestle control of the board somehow, and he still needs some help in order to do so.
Right.
Second Source Apprentice really doesn't do much here.
And he doesn't want to have to use a Frost Nova here.
What to do?
It kind of depends on how killinallday anticipates the Jandis as well. We know that's the Nubisoft defender, but Killen would love to guess the right minion so he can take off that power guaranteed. I guess if he trades into this Booty Bay Bodyguard, he can just go ahead and ping it anyway, so it's kind of like taking off that power. And he also has that full information now.
We hunger for vengeance.
Time runs out on me.
Ooh, Mana Giant, okay. That's the best way you can develop onto the board and fight here.
Yep. There is a good amount of power, though, here. Oh, Solarian Prime. I mean, that is 10 damage on board. He only needs 7 to face.
It's prime time, baby. Okay, it's not.
All right, not yet. I mean, these are some pretty high-value potion targets, especially the Jandis. And Imprisoned Observer kind of keeps things alive, right? So Eddie is getting very close. Potion does give up his game plan, though. It does allow Killen to play a little bit more loose with his resources.
Right. And Solarian Prime does have the ability to still be good on the following turn.
Yeah, and you can see Killen sits up.
Headmaster kill Thasad.
Well,
Well, there's no
he doesn't have any
spells.
spells. Yeah, I know. There's no
Time runs out
spells.
on me.
And still keeping the highest attack minion as the Not Mirage. He's worried about Conjurer's Calling, though. He also needs to clear up some board space if he wants to develop the next Imprisoned Observer, which he should... Oh, wow, he's fully trading.
Fully trading. I guess he wants board space. No. The reason why I also like Solarian Prime was because next turn he could play Tortollan Pilgrim. If the Solarian Prime stick, he would be able to play the Tortollan Pilgrim. But yeah, like I think he wanted to deal with the Giant as the priority here. Looks like Eddie is kind of like talking through the play himself, kind of seeing if he needed to do that versus was he a little bit too trade heavy because he wanted to push damage, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Wand Thief comes to the hand here. Killen is comfortable throwing away one source of premise because he doesn't have that many spells. Devolving Missiles might actually be a bad card here because they could turn Jandis into actual threats.
Yeah. I was even thinking like Ice Barrier for stall wasn't terrible.
Time runs out on me.
But Rain Freeze also does the same thing, so is going to get... Yep. Takes a good amount of power off board. 2-1 can take some power off board. Maybe a development on the Astromancer Solarian is good at this point.
I will crush your delusions.
Just have things to fight. This Imprisoned Observer is not popping out yet. Eddie still has the Solarian Prime as a way to just win the game on the spot. But it looks like he's going to go for a freeze here and some damage push.
I like it. And I think Killen should be able to kind of anticipate that, right? Because if he... Would he not be wanting to copy with the potion at this point? I mean, he's seen everything, so he knows exactly what's going on. So at this point, Killen just knows he just needs to survive. That's all that matters here.
Yep. Primordial Studies, Arcane Explosion, Arcane Breath, Combustion. There's a full board clear in here.
Okay.
Lab Partner is free. But does he have enough mana to play like Steward of Scrolls and then the rest of the stuff that he wants to do? So if he plays Steward of Scrolls, he gets a bigger minion on board. He gets +1 spell damage still. He'd have 3 mana remaining, so he can go Arcane Explosion, Combustion, and double Arcane Breath, which is still a full clear. So maybe you go Steward of Scrolls so you have a bigger minion. In fact, Violet Warden would have also been a full clear with the Arcane Explosion, double Arcane Breath.
And he gets the ping.
Yeah, he does get the ping. Maybe. Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
That extra damage is actually pretty meaningful because now Solarian Prime has less targets. Here we go. For the win. Texas Blast. Oh,
Arcane
target
Intellect.
the enemy.
Arcane Explosion. Conjurer's Calling. Okay, that's good.
Wow.
That's not good.
That's not that good. Okay.
You can still find burn with Want Thief. Looking for Pyro? No burn. Explosion
Max
just
tempo.
fills up the board.
Killen needs to find a way to stall. He has Frost Nova and Antonitis ready to go.
Oh, man, but it's not a two-turn setup because Eddie's still at 29.
It's true.
Killen still needs a lot of help from his deck, and all of this stuff that he's got is so expensive. He has no Sorcerer's Apprentice left. He can't quite clear the... Oh, no, he can't because he has spell damage.
Yeah. Firebrand ends up being a really good draw. And he summons a 6/6.
And gets a 6/6. Yeah, Killen's dead.
Oh, wow. And the double potion draw, Eddie has found the tempo line and possibly showing you why he is a true master, grandmaster even, of this deck.
Doomsayer.
You are right. That Devolving Missiles could hit a Doomsayer. He also has a Conjurer's Calling for a final shot.
What to do?
Oh. Okay.
Nope.
Eddie clapping. 2 chances. No matter how he slices it, there's 2 chances.
2 chances. He needs Doomsayer exactly. Nope.
That's not it.
That's it.
Killen concedes. Eddie wins 2-1. Back-to-back week victories in the Swiss tournaments. One of the most dominant performances that you'll ever see in Grandmasters, winning 2 out of 3 weeks, ending #1 in points. Never missing a single top 8 in any Swiss tournaments this year. Eddie has to be the player to watch heading to Stage 2 for Hearthstone Grandmasters this season. This is unbelievable amount of consistency coming out of him with a deck that no one else wants to play.
And winning in Game 3 with a double potion hand. Which,
yes,
that's like, we call it the built-in failure rate of the deck, because usually when you draw double potion, there's almost no chance. But playing as heavy for tempo as he could, making trades when he could, he always tried to set up those imprisoned observers as like many turns in a row as possible to make things so awkward for Killen to stick a board. And that type of like tempo mindset when you're playing for double potion and trying to get as much value of your cards as possible, just like really well played. And honestly, I think that Killen played really well throughout that series too. But Eddie bringing an unorthodox deck that's hard to prepare for, and then playing it, I think like nearly to perfection. That's just such a cool story. And now, I mean, hate to be Tyler at this point.
That's right.
He won twice in a row, which means
Turtle Mage.
Yeah, that's expensive too.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Eddie is just been such a revelation in America as like one of the true talents in the past few years, having grinded a lot of tour stops and been consistent, always like one of the top ladder players for a long time. Even when he kind of won his Masters Tour Bucharest, I still felt like he didn't really get the kind of respect that he really deserved. Because just watching him play in Grandmasters week to week, I just really started to realize like, wow, he is really, really good. And then people are saying like, maybe he's a player that, still could be even better if he lives up to his potential and do all these other different things. And I feel like he is doing a great job so far. If this is what's going on, and he seems to have struck a really good balance and such good play coming out of Eddie and recognition of like what he needs to be doing with unusual decks. That's pretty much what you want to see. You can't really ask for much more. Really well done. And such a fantastic way to wrap up our Swiss tournament stage 1 here of Hearthstone Grandmasters. And just like that, the top 8's been settled. And we're going to, starting next week, march on closer to the playoffs, to the finals, and relegation. Any thoughts, TJ, here to wrap up before we send off for the weekend here?
I mean, I guess a couple, but I'm just excited to see these divisions play out because I do think that for the most part, we did get the better performers in Division A, or what have been the most consistent good performers in Division A over the course of almost Grandmasters history. Obviously, a little disappointing for the players that did have good starts in the Swiss, like Firebat Frozen and Zalay, who barely missed out on Division A. But if they keep up that performance, you mentioned earlier, they'll still get to those top spots and maybe be able to sneak into playoffs still. But we got a lot of newcomers, some players that have just been on fire, like Language Hacker, Bloodyface, and Eddie at the top of Division A. And I want to see what they come up with moving forward into this round robin stage, because we're seeing a lot of different takes on lineups and decks. Even though we've had different formats, I feel like it's anybody's game going into next week and beyond.
Yeah, really well said, and that's a good way to wrap up everything here for the weekend. It's been real fun. If you missed any part of this broadcast, you want to see some cool plays and relive the moments, maybe check out that No Hands Gamer that people are talking about on social media already. Right here, youtube.com/Hearthstone Esports for everything related to the Grandmasters program. And of course, if you want to check out the deck lists, you want to check out the standings, you want to, once again, listen and research the year of Killing All Day, go ahead and head over to playhearthstone.com/esports to wrap things up. We're done here from Frodan, TJ, and everybody as part of the YoCat fan club. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time for more Hearthstone action.
Hearthstone Grandmasters is brought to you by T-Mobile. Switch today and rank up to America's largest 5G network. T-Mobile.